Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright. I hope everything's alright. Microphone and so on. I have come home. Oh, sorry. I'm a bit tired. My English is a bit. So, the title is that I saw a lizard run Wibbly-Wobbly on a video. So, I think it was very funny. It's just dorky, you know, like how the derp meme, rage comic used to be. It was just, uh, it puts the legs apart and like it's slapping with its leg. Jack, tick, 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 tick. And it was both cute and kind of derpy. So I really liked it. And I was thinking about what to name my video. So I named it that. Good name. Alright, I'm starting the music. Hope it's alright. It works well. And it's the good setting. So, as I have said in a previous stream, let me take a deep breath and try to talk properly from the stomach, as they say. For those who perform, they should be speaking from the stomach to make a nice voice. Alright, I'm just gonna clear the back a little bit so my stomach would have a bit more place. Alright, so I had my first day at work. We have started with the safety meeting, safety education, and fire safety education. Then we had I don't know how would you call it, like a factory education, producing plant education. Sorry, this is the third part of it, because the first part tells you about the general things, general workplace safety. Then we have one about fire safety. What can you do and how can you prepare? Then you go into the factory. I'm just going to call it a factory. It's pretty much just a factory. Yeah. So then you go to a factory, not a factory, the factory where they have hired you, and then they are going to show you the machines, the production lines, what are the maintenance things, what are the things you have to be cautious with, what kind of parts and gears and kind of what do they do, you know. So yeah, that was the third part of it. Then the whole day was about 8 hours instead of 12 hours, and I actually have tomorrow and after tomorrow free because of the shift that I have currently joined into, and that's going to be a night shift, so it's going to be pretty hard. Overall, the machines were exceptionally modern. Some of them had like this, how do you call it, plastic, transparent plastic, plexi protective, transparent plastic that was a centimeter, and some even thicker than that. And I really liked it. It looked so good. It's a food production factory, so everything was very clean and everything was de-infecticized. I'm not sure how the word is. It was pretty antibacterial, clean. The machines themselves were clean. I apologize. I'm a bit tired. And the machines were very pretty too. I have to say they were both very modern, very nice. The technology was great. The machines digital interface was actually very nice, very modern touchpad, and it was yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, and the whole place was very clean. There was a lot of very mandatory ruling that you have to, like, before disinfect your hands, and then you have all this protective equipment and things, and the machines were super very fast. Every couple of seconds there is a whole box of products that come off the line, because it goes like tick 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 tick. This is how the products themselves come off the line. I'm sorry if my tick 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 was not very persuasive. Then let's say pom 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 pom. Nah, that's even worse. Anyway, these the products came down very fast, multiple pieces every second, a lot of them, and then they were grouped together, like you will see now. A very, how do they call these industries? I'm going to Google translate it. We call it pooling industry. I have no idea how it's called in English. Maybe it's heavy industry, but I hope it's not just weird if it's just heavy industry. Well, it's drawing industry, I'm sure. Pooling industry, yeah, traction, it's not. Also, yeah, that's it. One of the translate growth industry. I don't know what that is. Anyway, it's one of the top top producers, and it's supporting many countries, each line multiple of them, and it's just imagine multiple products coming off every second, and it's traveling so very pretty on a conveyor belt, and it's a really small conveyor belt too. Some of them are bigger, but it's really fast in between inox stainless steel, not fences. I'm too tired to remember the word. Even in Hungarian, it's kind of the problem. I don't know. I remember the fence, but I don't remember the Hungarian or the English word. What was the kind of like yes, a railing. It had an inox railing beside the conveyor belt, and then it grouped it up every fourth piece. Well, some differently, but this one every fourth piece. Then made a tray out of it, grouped it together every, I think, 4 times 4 or 6 times 4, and then put them into levels, box them, send the box up on an elevator, and just above your head, like beside the wall, like cute little conveyor belts, just going around, and that's where the product is traveling to the packing place, where actually it's robots that are packing, and there is just a couple people supporting pallets or like packing plastic, or I'm very tired. Wrapping, that's it. Wrapping materials. I apologize. I'm sorry. I really apologize. I just wanted to make a stream, but I'm terribly tired. I wanted to stream actually an hour, well, 2 hours earlier. Not that I'm looking at the time. First I came home and I was like, I'm too hungry and horny. Mere needs. I'm sorry, it was a long day. I was tired too. I apologize for the usage of words. And yeah, and when I was already eating, I noticed that, well, it's already 30 minutes over. Then I guess I'm gonna watch a video, and started. It was an hour ago, and I watched a Lily video, one of the meme videos, a compilation. But this one was mm, the guy who makes those daily dose of internet. I think it was a really good one. Yes, I have shared multiple parts of that video because it was really good. Then it was around an hour earlier, and I don't really know what happened, but I went to wash dishes. I guess guest time just moved a bit too fast, or probably not the time that was the problem. But I was tired, so I couldn't really. Don't know why I just couldn't really. I was unable to see it because it's not really. Oh hey, wow! I can do this. Ow! Yeah, I like this. I just discovered a transform function. Interesting. Oh, that's nice. I might just. I'm playing with the animations, and I realized that you can transform them, and I really like it. Wow, this is amazing. I guess my mind gotten a bit childish because I really like it. So anyway, time kind of passed a little bit, and I just waited another 30 minutes. It would be a bit better. And well, not now I'm. Oh, that's really cool how you can just transform. Ah, that's so. I like this. I think every animation goes in that. I didn't know. I thought you just because I thought you can only do this with a mouse. I didn't know you can do this. Oh. Well, anyway, it happens, and sometimes discover new things. Awesome. I really like it. Hmm. So anyway, I think this workplace is going to be good. The shoes are not really good, so I'm going to buy some inners and foot edge tightener. I'm sorry, I don't know how they call the thing under the Achilles. And I think, well, it's a 12-hour job, and I'm going to have a night shift too. I'm unsure how it's going to go. Maybe I won't be able to do it. It's still a lot of strain on the body. The salary is really good, actually. It's quite high. Of course, if my country goes full bankrupt, it's not going to matter anything. But as for now, I'm really glad for this salary and place because it's kind of good. I'm unsure. I'm unsure how going in but the shift is going to work because I'm going with a bus. I hope it comes in time. Preferably it should be. And yeah, that's all. The salary is even bigger with extras, of course cafeteria, and there are of course the overwork opportunity, but 12-hour and more hour overwork just seems a bit brutal. Like it just seems like a lot, and I'm unsure how I will do that. That's very hard. But anyway, it's a pretty good place. I kind of like it. They say when the probation time is off, I'm going to get 5 sets of clothes instead of 2, but that's nice too. Yeah, I think I have talked enough about this one topic. I'm going to switch a little bit because I know if you don't like this kind of topic, then even this 50 minutes is going to be very much and very unlikable for some. For the second part, I have been making sandwiches, and we have a sandwich baker, which is like how a gopher baker or other bakers have. It's 2 hot pieces of iron, you know, it's electric, and you squeeze the sandwich, and the iron kind of cuts it in the middle just a little bit, and really heats up the sandwich. Not kind of making toast from it, but if there is anything inside of it, then it kind of gets a short, maybe 160 Celsius because of the hot irons, and it kind of dries out the sandwich, so kind of making a, we call it a warm sandwich here when the sandwich is baked. This is because when you bake a sandwich, for example in an oven, if you have like eggs on it, or if you have anything else that is, what would you say, perishable, not perishable in a short time, or if you don't refrigerate it, then baking can help it stay edible for a longer time. How much that differs on the kind of thing. Pepperoni or salami, and if baked, can stay for a good very long time. Always bacon, but I wouldn't put bacon in it. Really salty, and salty on bread in that amount is just kind of like you over salted it. So even if you bake it beforehand, it's kind of very brutal, kind of too much, way too much salt. It kind of throws the whole flavors off. So I had a liver paste in it, some eggs and some cheese. I know it's surprising and a bit weird, but if you bake the egg, for one, it's very light and easy to digest protein. So is the liver, very easy to digest. The cheese is a bit more, but it also gives a little bit of fat, and kind of it's for me it's kind of takes a certain amount of time to digest it. A little bit of time is needed for it. So overall, it's kind of a 2 or 3 hour kind of digestive process, and together it tastes kind of really nice. Eggs are neutral. The liver paste is kind of tasty, but the cheese is not really tasty. More like as baked cheese tends to be, it's kind of, it has its own taste, differing baked grilled cheese kind of thing. And yes, I know it's wild at first hearing, but there's been a lot of experimentation that I have gotten here, and it is a tested thing. But it really depends if you, for example, you like reverbers. It's nice, actually. But okay. So yeah, I kind of want to be on a diet again. I just don't know how to do it because I have been eating a lot of these pre-cheese, cottage cheese kind of thing. A lot of a lot of a lot of pickle, um, garlics. I think a lot of pickled cucumber. I'm sorry, and also olive or olive berries. Olive tree berries. I don't know them. I'm sorry. Olive oil berries. And sometimes pre-cheese, pre-salt, some finely chopped onion. Let it sit for a couple hours, so it it loses the strength because and a lot of liquids. And it's kind of like when you bake onion, so your mouth won't be so smelly, not going to be so smelly. It's easy to digest and it's not going to burn your mouth that much. You can add that to it and things like that. Things like and I was eating a lot of that and well, banana and apples. And before that I was eating cheese with chocolate milk, and I ate a very small piece so I wouldn't be hungry all day, and then some chocolate milk so I can have some energy at the start of the day, like to go and use the toilet, but it wouldn't be overwhelming. I stopped with the chocolate milk because it became very overwhelming. I feel the same right now. For some reason it just feels overwhelming. I don't know why. I really used to like it a lot, but for some reason nowadays it just gives me that cold headache. I have such a big bone in school. So anyway, I have been baking sandwiches. I have made a really thin bread. Just the kind of 5 millimeter, half a centimeter kind of bread that is so very thin, but not thin enough for it to fall apart. And then putting some cheese in between, and then some other things. Not necessarily, the when I said before, you can get a lot of kind of things. I have been thinking about wanting to try out pickled things with it, but I kind of need something to hold the sandwich together. And cheese is really good at this, but I can't really put cheese and pickled things together. Won't go that fast, I think. So anyway, I was thinking about going back to a fruit diet with some things, but I'm not sure if I want to eat those things. I kind of want to get a lot of carrots because I'm hungry a lot. Sometimes I am very hungry, but when I eat carrots, for example, my hunger kind of stops and I'm feeling better. To be honest, I really wanted to stream, but I kind of feel like I'm at 25 minutes. I have a hard time keeping my eyes open. Since I'm kind of tired, I'm not even sure what to talk about it. What to talk about. It's kind of dark out there. I'm very mellow and very relaxed. I'm sorry. It just feels like the microphone didn't catch that. I kind of hope it did. I also noticed that some of my videos have gotten some views, which made me happy. Only a couple of them, of course, but it wasn't from me for once. So it's kind of nice. I know it's just 0 and 1 or 2, very little, but I'm very happy about it. Of course, I might still get spams, you know, those kind of ads, or you know, negative comments. Like that's always in it, sorrowfully. But not really sorrowfully. While I do hate a lot of negative comments, I have been part of communities that had very harsh comments, sometimes harsh truths, sometimes just mean comments. And I believe standing those comments, reading them, and being able to just, I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to just say it. I think those comments make you kind of stronger in character. I just don't know how to say it, really, what I want to express. But those comments kind of, if you read them, certainly they hurt. And if you read 100 of them, they are going to hurt more. But your pain tolerance and thinking kind of changes. Your pain tolerance will grow significantly, but you are also capable of thinking differently because of that pain tolerance. You will have the ability to not be offended, but write a witty remark, or just troll back, or you know, make fun of him. And this gets you to a back and forth kind of thing, which is, you know, it's a growth of your character and personality. And while I know that I don't like a lot of things in regards to that. I don't like rudeness, or when you are very low level kind of, you know, that when you are not a classy troll, but like one of those people who wanna be trolls and just be like posting very obscene words, and that's their whole trolling. I just feel like that's not very, it's like low kind of like, it's when like you find something very cheap or very, it's not substantial. It's just kind of like barking out a curse word. And there are ways to troll someone, and this kind of just, I don't know what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to see a couple of bad examples where just really just you can really do something with it. Like if I were to say like, hey, your red is hair, hey, your hair is red, or your hair is blue. Okay, yes, it's not something you can Google, reply to, or write a witty remark, or it's just there. Just okay. So I don't want to say for everything that yeah, that's because some of those things are just not really. When I said your character is going to grow, or you get some constructive, well, not constructive, but a criticism, and if that criticism of course can have truths, and that's the best of it when it has truths, but not necessarily like a person can just say, hey, I didn't like what you made, but I'm not going to tell what I didn't like or why I didn't like it. And there are kind of harsh comments kind of make you grow, but there are kind of comments that are just kind of there, and even if I want to write something back, there is nothing to start on what to write. Just kind of like cave. Okay, you wrote something really. Okay, what now? So some of the trolling is, for example, that you write a bait, like you kind of bait a person into you say something that is somewhat controversial, but other person can kind of reply in a protective way, or a way that he can construct a simple argument. But you baited him into that argument because you have the perfect counter argument, or something paradoxic, paradox kind of argument to which there is no solution, and then you can make fun of him. So there are a lot of ways of course trolling, and all of these kind of make you grow in a way. But yeah, there are also constructive criticism, but the thing is, truth oftentimes hurts. So I wouldn't count that here, because the point of truth, when you hear some truth, and of course you can put truth in very ugly ways too, but it can hurt for other reasons too. But at the point of truth, that it's in this case, in case of criticism, that it hurts your ego because it's just so on point of your flaw or an error. So it's just so on point that it's undeniable wrong. Now, of course, if we are talking about a typo, it's never the same. Like, well, mate, you wrote apple, but it only made one P because you kind of missed. Okay, it's not kind of a criticism, but if you because it's a criticism, but it's like, hey, you made a typo. But if you make a criticism like, hey, that's kind of cringe, or hey, I see from your writing you are kind of immature, or it feels like you are incapable of developing as a person, or hey, this is an insecurity of yours. Yeah, it's kind of bad. It feels super painful hearing your insecurity that you didn't even know you had, but another person recognized it being listed back to you. But now you know about that insecurity, you can change it, you can change your material, because now you can read back your material and know, it does sounds like I have all these insecurities and the problems. Now you have learned something, now we are able to grow, now we are able to be more, and make things based on that. Now you have one less flaw, which also makes you a better person. Of course, just knowing that you have a problem doesn't necessarily mean you cannot also fix it, but you can dodge it or work on it, which is a great thing. So from this point of view, this is really what, not just a point of view, this is what truth is good at. This is what it's for. It's kind of in a way what you need, but the same way like learning certain things in school is painful. When I was developing, understanding some things made me frustrated because I know that my brain does not have yet the capability to connect the dots, but I already want to go to the next lesson, but there is no system for that in my head yet. It's painful, it's frustrating. I'm not getting forward. However, these kind of things have their own fruit, which is honestly kind of awesome. Oh, hey, I have gotten up in my chair, which is awesome. So this is why truth and surrounding yourself with honest people is important. Some people can put some truths into comedic form, which is a lot better because our ego often stops us from recognizing, wanting the pain, or taking it back, taking that pain, owning that pain. And humor does help us cope with that and kind of slide through that pain like it wouldn't be there, which is in a way a slower learning, but because we are not being told everything factual, but in a kind of comical way, but it also helps self understanding the self and self-realization of problem. So that's good too. And I don't know what I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Maybe not. So if you surround yourself with people, it's just hard to maybe understand or care or know what kind of friends have, because you are not supposed to analyze your friends. The thing is that, but if we are talking about, for example, advisors for people, like we see a lot of leaders surrounding the, and well, not just leaders, companies have people in management who surround themselves with people that we call an echo chamber. People who always say things that the boss likes, that these people always dodge the truth because that's something the boss wouldn't like. Like, boss, kind of suck at your job, and because of this and that. Imagine if your boss would hear it. Imagine if you would have the chance to learn and improve and be genuinely liked at a workplace. Of course, it's his own fault too. But if he's surrounded by people like said echo chamber, he will never have the chance for growth. And some people don't even care about this. So there is that. Some people don't want to grow. They are someone, some guy's nephew, or someone's daughter, or someone's lovers, and they are just at the job. Big job is just there to die you to work, and gets a nice salary because he's from someone's who's a wealthier person, who gets like a very big salary, like a monthly allowance from the company. So not all of these people like want to grow or dare to grow, but this is what we call bootlickers, basically. and yeah, sorrowful it is. And it's important to have a lot of truth in our lives. And I guess I wouldn't pick friendship and now say things about that, and wouldn't have what kind of friends, and if you should or not allow them, or so on and so forth. I don't think that's I wonder if the background music probably is louder than my own voice. I'm going to get it a little bit lower. Mamma mia. Okay, hopefully it's a little bit lower. The menu. It's interesting though, because it's the same music. Sorry, I'm testing the microphone. It's the same music playing in the background, and of course some songs are stronger than others, but I have been trying to fine tune. I hope I don't have this bad background noise. I'm sorry if I do. This is all I have currently. Sometimes kind of you fine-tune things and fine-tune them again, and listen to streams and fine-tune them again. Basically the same value you are trying to hit, but from time to time it gets to be different. Yeah. So maybe I will have work for now, and that allows me to a couple things. For now, however, I want to make a couple thumbnails because I still have to do that. Just some simple things, really. Simple background, simple of text. These are still kind of test streams, pre-practicing with people. I have not advertised myself on Twitter or anywhere else, and this is, I'm just currently here kind of practicing my voice, hoping something would come out of this experience, or some learning knowledge, or some practice in my English vocabulary. For example, when I say vocabulary, maybe ouch, my lips hurt, they are kind of right out. So when I say some words, they are well pronounced, they are well sounding, I don't have this with back N pronounced, they are just said as they should be, words to word, well said and well articulated, and that I can say longer words faster without my lips sketching my teeth, and you know, similar kind of things. Hopefully. But yes, I also have many dreams. I want to, honestly, my body is really good, and I'm not saying this is because my body is not good. My body is good, but sometimes I have the wish to improve upon things, and kind of want to build things from wood, but sometimes I don't have the tools for it. However, if I would have a bigger funding, then I guess I would buy said tools. It's still a problem that I don't really have a place to work at, and maybe there is some garage that I can hire, like move my tools there and just build a couple things, maybe rent it out for a couple months and build wooden tools. Then like a chair, like for example my chair is not kind of friendly, but maybe I can fix it in the future because it's only one piece of iron that is broken, pushing the springs. But I still want to make a really good wooden chair, like practice some things. I still want to have like build a plane and get maybe get a lathe too. But for these kind of things I would be in a need. I would be in a need to have a place to work at. And I don't really want to share my inner thoughts on this, but now that I'm kind of realizing how little place people have today work. In the 70s and 80s, even in the 2000s, if you wanted to get a place to work at, you could get it in a pretty cheap price. Nowadays, it's a super competitive price, even though pretty much nobody wants to hire those places out because they are very expensive. So today if a guy wants to start something, because that's usually how it is, what should I do? What should I be working on? Hey, I'm going to make sandals. Hey, I'm going to make chairs. And these kind of things, startup contractorships, and later small producers, and these small producers pull in more tools, which helps the tools factory, and capitalism and the liquidation and circulation of work hours, workflow, culture are all because of this. But since everything got super pricey, there are barely any place to do anything because it's mostly just ruined warehouses that are being rented out to bigger companies if they are rented out at all. Because, for example, I can't really rent out a 3-level 800 square meter warehouse, but so it's going to stay there empty, and the small ones and the cheap ones are the first to go because we have lots of people who want to work on a cheap and small place that is good for a workshop. So it's kind of the thing that we don't really have a development going on in this regards. I'm kind of sad because of it. It should be a good idea to build a lot of these places, but I just feel like when I was young I had moments and tastes of capitalism. I have grown up in the shadow of socialism. Our houses were mainly made in the socialist era. Thousands of prefabs, thousands but thousands. The schools, the hospitals, all of them constructed in that era. And so most of the factory buildings and so on and so forth, other mega industry, are from that era. And then we went into a very bad recession after the changes of system. And when I was young, I had moments of this really sweet kind of capitalism. I'm going to give now, maybe no. Feels like the music became super it's a bit loud. Music becomes super small. I don't know. So, oh no, I have pressed things I didn't want. So when I went to shopping, I had seen a wide variety of products. New supermarkets have opened, many new tools arrived, and I have felt a second bloom because nowadays Tesco is building down, everything just building down. But in Little we had, I'm just going to say it out, I don't know, I don't want to advertise them. We had Parkside products and other shops made for workshops, materials, do-it-yourself, whatever, contractor shop. There have been so many new products, electric tools, power tools, on the internet and web shops. Since 2016-18, I have been buying manual agri tools. At these, maybe not, but saws, tools, so many things. So there have been a second bloom of, wow, I can also work, and there are this wide variety of products. So I kind of really like that. And I don't want to say bad things about things that remain from the socialist era, because I know that I have mentioned that my country has a problem of bitterness, and the younger generations are working on it. I feel like I wouldn't be able to work as well on those problems as the youngest of current generations will be working on it. I hope that they will do fine and will be able to overcome these negative personality traits a lot better than I and my generations had the chance. Honestly, I had a Christian friend who had his own problems, but he had been a great counsel to me once or twice, because he had a lot of problems in life and health issues too. So he had like, let's just say, wild days, and things that he deeply regretted. He was very sad, very sad, had lots of problems, and then later on he kind of found faith, and he had been counseling me many times, and yes, he was kind of right in many of the negative personality traits, and like, and honestly, after that he became very content. You know, he became a faithful Christian and very content, and he had this kind of way of talking that he actually deeply listened to you, and straightforward, forwardly, and sometimes roughly told you kind of not really an opinion, but what might or might not be the source of your problems, or source of your sadness and bitterness, in my case. Not your, reverse your. And this has been a great start, I think, a great help to start up, to continue to be better and to change. Because even if you decide to do certain things, let's say you are in a desert and you want to build a house, it's hard to just start out. And he had been through a lot of bad things, and he became very content, and I saw he could listen to me with open mind and with very honest, raw, and the good words. Told me what he thought, kind of problems I had, and in a way like a mirror. A mirror kind of pointed out things I feel like I had to know, but like it was a mirror, but not just a mirror where you see yourself, but a mirror where someone points that maybe this spike you see there, here, maybe this one is one that's causing you the pain, and the spike that you couldn't see before, now you can see. I try to say that, and yeah, sometimes I just don't realize it, and we don't really talk that much more working too, but I'm kind of thankful for him anyway. Yes, so what was that I was talking about it? How did I even get it? Not sure. I probably should have wrote it down. I know I remember I was talking about like improving English. Maybe I was once again talking about improving myself. It's kind of cliche because I have said it a lot of times, but I like to say story kind of things. It was a good thing. Today was a good day. Maybe tomorrow I have time to make the cheese, but tomorrow I will also be cutting up this cheese that I already have, so I'm going to know if it's worth making more or not. But yeah, I really want to gain back things that I had, things like my health, my fitness, my bodily strength, and I want to improve my English capabilities, because a couple years ago I was talking beautifully. I have such a great pronunciation in English. I was talking so beautifully, so wholeheartedly. I could pronounce all these words. I didn't have a in each of my I didn't have a stacked tongue, or I didn't hit my tongue against my hand. See, I don't even remember the words. I used to know so many phrases, and the thing is, I used to know so many things in Hungarian too, but I have been so unsocial for the later years. I just don't know, and it's not just COVID too. I could say it was because of the lockdown, but even before that I haven't exactly been very social. I almost had a thought about what I wanted to talk also, before I forgotten it again. Yeah. I still don't know what I want to play. I had many ideas for games. I'm kind of, I'm thinking about playing Jedi Outcast. And it's an awesome game. Maybe I should. Yeah, I really like that game, to be honest. I miss a lot of those old kind of games. Also the first experience, because if a similar game were to come out today, I'm not sure if I would probably like it, but not sure if I would have that same experience of those as those old UIs, when those became a thing. There are a lot of 2D games today. You know, there is 2.5D has been a really big thing for very many years. And today I'm often thinking about if can I play this with the same enjoyment. I have tried out Diablo a couple days ago, the first one, because of a streamer. And then you see when a girl that you like, not like romantically, but like I like this streamer girl. I like to listen to her voice and so on. You know, I really like her. She has a nice pronunciation, not nice as in perfect English, but kind of girlish. No, not just girlish. It's more that her personality is waves into the words I really like. And she has been reading up all those little boxes full of text. And seeing a gameplay like that made me want to play too, to try out different weapons, to add a little bit of this attribute or the other one. But when I started to play the game myself, resolution wasn't that perfect. Even though it was running on my computer, but I didn't really want to read the text because it was traveling up so slow on the screen. It's just, it takes a minute, 1 minute to show 3-4 lines of texts, and it's just, for example, a rumor or a gossip. I think the Mike Baker went to North because he heard some rumors about the goblins. Maybe you can find goblins there too. Okay, that was a minute. And even in WoW, World of Warcraft, there was a lot of texts, but you could read them, translate them, and honestly they made no sense. Most of the text was horrible. Because, for example, I remember playing the Burning Crusade, and at the starting zone there is hey, go, I don't know, north. On north you will find a cave, and in that cave there will be goblins, something, or full bro or whatever strange animals or people, I don't know. And I didn't just went north, I went in every direction. I found the closest cavern going northeast, I think, northeast or north. Let me check which is where. Oh. Okay, I meant the direction of the path. Okay. North, no, it was northwest, not northeast. So I went northwest, and then find the cavern. And it says that at the end of the bottom of the cavern you can find something. I went to the bottom of the cavern, I found nothing, and it was just so long, it took 40 minutes to get down. I gained 2 levels, and the enemies respawned, and I didn't find anything, and just going around like, man, if you take I don't know what, a yard in WoW, I don't know what is how much, in a certain circle in every direction, this was the closest cavern. In the and in north there was no cavern at all in the north direction. So what happened was that there was another cavern behind this one, actually much farther away, like very far away. Like, I don't know how I was supposed to find that one. And it was also in northwest, a bit closer to north. Right, this was a bit closer to northwest, and it was really far away, and there was no description. Like, these guys have like red munchkins, that one has blue, or hey, follow the big tree, then go to the pool, and then there will be a cavern around. No, the quest was like, hey, there is a cavern somewhere in north, go find it. And there was no cavern towards north at all. So and it's kind of weird. Well, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of weird. These kind of this kind of quests, kind of odd games had a lot of these kind of things. Some of them were much better written, of course, much better directions. But I wonder if I were to start playing WoW today without all the helping add-ons and so on, would I have the same patience to and kind of just be able to deal with so many frustrations, or would I just close the game? Because a lot of games, from like as an adult man, I can't really figure out certain things that as a young kid I could, but as a young kid I spent days trying to figure out some things. I had problems that I spent a whole week on. Today I could figure it out much faster if it's logical. However, if it's not logical, but kind of like try hitting every lamp with your sword for no reason at all, and this kind of weird and wacky things, that's just you, for no reason you start hitting every lamp, maybe that does something, and trying out literally everything in a game like that, jumping on every tile for no reason, and after a week realizing that one of the tile for some reason did something, and maybe it's just an Easter egg and not even the quest mission. It was today I wouldn't be doing it. It was trying to find something like that out or fix or reason really. I don't think I would have the patience, and not the patience, necessity maybe. Because back in the day every game was a gem. Couldn't really find many games because we didn't have internet. I had a couple small games written out CD, and I have been like, I had 5 games and I played those games like so many times. Even if I couldn't succeed, I just kept playing them. I didn't even speak the language. I could already, well, there have been times when I couldn't even read, but even if I weren't able to read, and later have been able to read, I know what those words meant. I know what play, what factory meant. I had no idea. I never were I was taught German in school, and when I went to a school where they teach English, I already knew a lot of words. I didn't know how they were saying it in English, but I already had 100-200 words that I knew from head. What a soldier is, what a monkey is, what a tree, or so and so. I just knew. I knew what a helicopter was, obvious. What a Walker, a Titan. So many games. I have already knew a couple hundred words for no reason. And I'm not really sure what's the point of what I'm trying to say anymore. I just had to kind of try to play all those games because I didn't have anything else to play with. But today, if there is not a good direction, I would probably just Google it. Like, guys, the walkthrough told me to go to this room and find the chest, and like there is a big full empty room here, and there is no chest at all. It is kind of obvious. So is this a bug, or am I supposed to try and find harder, or what's kind of what's the thing here? And the thing here is that it well, it's a lot of times a bug. A lot of times it's a bug. I don't even know how did those kind of things happened in old games, because in old games you didn't even have the internet or magazines to try and find a walkthrough. A walkthrough was so hard to find even when the internet began. Like for a good selection of games there was no walkthrough at all. Why would there be? So, and some of these game designers just made descriptions that makes no sense, directions that makes no sense. If you say go to the second floor and find this key, and then there's only one floor or just a basement, then you will like, what do you mean by second floor? And then you go to the basement and there is the key, and you will be like, not the second floor. So even though one would expect for those times for developers to be kind of super accurate, like there is no way for you to find it out any other way but, you know, just start one line in the quest given, and that is just gibberish. Makes no sense. And sometimes it's interesting. Wait. And regardless of this, if I were to play like 2.5 games that I really liked back then, I'm not sure if just the pixels or something, maybe it would scare me away, and I'm really scared of that. Maybe because the game mechanics are so understandable and so obvious with 2.5 games, the warm-up too, that maybe it becomes boring faster. Maybe I'm kind of afraid of that too, because these game logics are very easy to understand, and after that it just becomes the same repetitive thing. But then there is creativity, like Minecraft just stands from blocks basically, yet you can make a custom. And SimCity 2 in this regard, it's just cubes not squares, square grid, and yet, you know, so maybe not. Anyway, I'm thinking about starting some kind of game. Well, anyway, be well guys, I hope you have a great day. Up with that head, have some cheer, don't give up, think of better things, do daydream about what kind of things you can or want to do, pick a goal even if it's a hobby, and just, you know, go for it. Maybe, you know, making chairs is just going to be a hobby, or, you know, whatever, but you already reached it. It's nice to go towards a purpose and maybe have fun, sometimes even frustration of learning towards the path, and these kind of projects tend to make you more. Be well, have some cheer, and please be happy.